We are James and Jennifer Boyd, owners of a tile and remodel company, as well as a home decor and gift boutique in North Carolina. Join us as we share home design and decor tips, as well as how-to tutorials as we work through some of our own projects at home.
Hi, George. It was good to see you this Saturday. And hello, everybody else.
That's right. Who's you missing him?
Yeah, George was in town. I hope you had a nice dinner with Laura and the gang. And it was great to see you in person. So hello, everybody else as well. Welcome to our Tuesday Night Live. We go live every Tuesday night at 8 o'clock to share decorating tips, styling tips, and share some product that we have over at our boutique. So, James.
Yes.
Guess what today is?
I know. 3 years ago today, we opened the doors of the new building.
That's right. Exactly today, 3 years ago, we opened the doors at our current location of the boutique. We had moved everything from up here, where we are now in the studio, to the front building. We had purchased that building in January of 2020, took the shutdown time to renovate it and get it ready, and then opened our doors on May 9th, 2020. So here we are 3 years later, and man, have we come a long way. The boutique already, the new building has had many changes to its facade, to its interior. It continues to make changes. We've got some plans to take down the wall and expand it. We've got plans on the exterior as well that we're super excited about sharing with you when the time is right. Just lots of great, exciting things. So the boutique this summer will be celebrating, celebrating its 5th year. So we've come a really long way in 5 years, for sure. Let's see, if you'd like to learn more about us, jump onto our website, barronsboutique.net. You can learn a little bit about the boutique, about us, about what we do, and we have all of our social links on the bottom on the website as well, so you can check out our Facebook, our Instagram. You can jump right onto this YouTube channel. I know Trish was saying that some are having difficulty. If you're watching this, you're not having difficulty, but we've come up with a very simple way to, if you're in the shop, just use our little QR code with your phone, and it takes you straight to the website. Hit the YouTube link, boom.
And the simplest way to do it is just subscribe.
Yes. If you
a lot of people try to watch without subscribing, and then you end up watching a show that we did 3 weeks ago, and you think you're watching live, and you're not. So subscribe, and it'll always tell you which show is live.
That is correct. So
easy peasy.
It would have told you that we posted a new video on Sunday. Traction on that one, and we gained 3 more followers from it, or 3 more subscribers from it. So we thank you very much. If you are one of those new subscribers or a current subscriber, we appreciate your commitment to watching us, and we just want to keep giving you content that's fun and that's informative and just kind of sharing what we do. So the latest video was this wall. How we
did shirts in it.
He did.
Oh, you don't want to notice in the video? There's a little dimple right here. You guys see that? I noticed that whenever I watch the video. There's a little dimple right there. Good. You see it on the screen. See? There it is. So yeah, I'm gonna fix that this week. Tune in next week and see it fixed.
Tuesday at 5 p.m. James will remember that he's got to fix that.
The 20-minute mud. Quick dry. Paint, paint, paint.
During the show when he does
There'll be a
it,
shiny spot into the paint, but it'll be done.
it'll be done. So I'm just joking with you. I'm just giving you a good time. But yeah, so with an exciting show, one of my favorite topics, texture.
Texture. Okay.
Hence the wall.
Yeah.
Texture, right?
Yeah.
It's got pattern and texture going on.
Yeah.
So
People want to know, like, is that just a paint treatment? No.
No.
This is 3/4 of an inch deep right here. I mean, and watch the video. The video that's supposed to go and look at. We did a video on how we made the wall, and because we've had a lot of interest in the wall. This is the third one we've done. You've designed ones for other clients. You've got one that's currently being installed on the west side by a carpenter. You designed it.
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay, but that's coming up.
Mhm.
Little things like that. People like these walls, and they're fun to do. Fun to do. So
And-
adds a lot of character to a room.
You don't have to do something like this,
No.
and it can be something simple. It's sometimes the little subtle things make the biggest difference.
Yeah.
And that's why I like texture so much.
Sure.
Because texture is something that can be really simple and subtle, or used as an accent. It can be used in a bold way or a simple way.
Yeah. Think about houses like just outside. How many houses do you see that are just plain? They're not. They have like stucco, or they have brick, or they have vinyl. They're all different textures. You very rarely ever see a house that's just flat, no texture. Because people like texture. Yeah, well, it is boring. And then inside, they usually do it because, well, it's cheap and easy. But when you go into larger builds, or you go into big homes, you go into homes where people have, expendable income, you'll see a lot of texture. Not always done this way, but done other ways, but people add texture.
It's just a cool
Flat is
architectural
boring.
element.
Yeah.
And it can be done in other treatments as well,
Yep.
or even furniture pieces and etc. And that's what we're showing you tonight. So let's get on to our first item.
Texture is one of my favorite elements of design to add to a space. I love the structure it adds. I love the depth that it adds. And this paper art piece adds both. The way that it's framed, the paper is kind of framed in front of a nice linen background. That adds a depth element in itself, because you can see the shadows translating from the paper to that canvas on the back. It's a nice dark piece, but it's a neutral. So this is something that could add a little drama to a space, but in kind of a subtle way. Beautiful against a nice light colored neutral background, because it really stands out and pops. It's framed nicely in a dark wooden frame that actually matches the color of the paper on the inside. This piece is $195, and it is 22 inches wide by 54 inches tall. This particular piece only has hanging hardware on the back to hang it vertically. However, if you're resourceful with some tools, you can add those D hooks on the back to be able to hang it horizontally as well. I have a paper art above my bed in our bedroom, and I have that hanging horizontally just to add texture and depth to the bedroom over the headboard. This piece would be great in any space.
Isn't this a great piece? So I love these paper art pieces, so much so, like I said in the video, we've got one of these at home. Our piece is a indigo, or it's a really, really, really dark blue, almost like ink. So it kind of looks black, but kind of looks blue. This particular one is warmer. It's done in those deep, rich browns, and it's against that nice light linen background. Beautiful piece. Look at the depth of that in that close-up video that Trish did. You can see the dimension of that paper art kind of relieved away from the back linen behind. I love, particularly here, That linen color is almost the same color as our walls at the boutique. So it almost looks like it's the wall showing through until you get closer and see the texture of the fabric as well that's behind. So you not only have that dimension and shadows of the paper art going on, but you've got a little bit of more subtle hints of texture on the back part with that light colored fabric. Great piece. Again, it doesn't have the hardware to hang it horizontally. However, if you would like it to hang horizontally and you're feeling a little crafty, you could add the D-rings to your, I'm tongue-tied tonight. You can add the D-rings on your own on the two sides to allow you to hang it horizontally. I think it's a spectacular piece and a spectacular price. Another great piece of art that we have as an option, and the video disappeared, is this piece. This is another great textured piece of art. It has great texture. I'll turn it on its side so you can see that. With grays, silvers, golds, nice and simple, framed in a nice black frame. It's $139. I think it's a beautiful piece. Now this can definitely hang vertically. Doesn't really make sense horizontally. Hey Sweets, can you tell us the dimensions of this piece of art?
Sure, that's the that's black abstract, 47 by 15 and a half.
47 by 15 and a half.
And 2 inches deep.
Yes. So a great piece. Again, I'll show you a little bit of that texture going on the bottom side as well. There's all different kinds of textures going on. And a little bit of shimmer in that gold section. Again, it has D-rings on the back, all ready for you to hang vertically. And again, a great price at $139. All right, moving on to our next piece.
When you're thinking about adding texture into your space, think about furniture pieces as well. This particular piece has nice texture across the fronts of the drawers. It has that fluted texture. It also has nice little texture detail in the handles as well. Each of these are storage drawers that go across. There's a little texture in the paint finish as well. This is a weathered gray. And it is available in other finishes as well, but the one we have on the floor is the weathered gray. This piece is 59 inches long by 16 inches deep by 32 inches tall. It's a great piece to use in a dining space if you want to stow away all your cutlery or your napkins, placemats, chargers, those kinds of things. It also would be great as a sofa table behind a sofa, or even in an entry or against a long hallway wall if you've got the length and the depth for it. This piece is $1,796. Again, this is a custom finish. It can be done in a variety of finishes. We have those at the boutique to look at if this particular color is not your thing. But we chose the weathered gray because it's a nice neutral. It's a warm gray, so if you have warmer tones going on in your home, it does pair well with that as well.
I love this table. It's so beautiful. I love that detail on the drawers, that ribbed or fluted detail. I love the texture and dimension that gives. Also, even in that circular hardware, you can see in that close-up video that there is some of that texture swirling down and around the circle hardware as well. That hardware is done in an antiqued brass, which I think offsets beautifully against that weathered gray. Again, this piece is available in other finishes as well, but we have it available on the floor at $1,796 in the finish that it is in. There has been price increases with this particular company, so ordering it in a different color, the price will go up a bit, and there is a little bit of a wait. But if that weathered gray is your thing, this is a fantastic piece. I think the dimensions are great as well for an entryway, a hallway, a dining room. I had said in the video, I think that it'd be great for like tucking away cutlery and things like that, napkins in the dining room space. Or even using it as a sofa table and a place to hide some of those remotes if your cocktail table doesn't have a drawer or a place to hide them away. Because yes, we don't always need the remotes out, do we? Sometimes we're entertaining guests and the TV doesn't need to be on, unless we're doing something like watching a hockey game. But
Yeah, with the Canes in the playoffs, we turned on the TV in our living room for the first time since when we were decorating the Christmas tree and watched a Christmas movie.
yes,
Yeah,
so
we don't watch much TV.
we don't, but you know, you have to have a place to hide away things like that, or hide away magazines, things like that. So this is a great table for that. Again, beautifully detailed. The leg detail as well, the texture that that creates, the shadows that it casts are very pretty. If you had this as a sofa table against a darker colored fabric, it would really make this table and all of those details stand out. Because the table's more of a neutral and it's against a neutral wall at the shop, it's kind of a subtle, hello, I'm here. But against something nice and dark, it would really pop and stand out. All right. If you're needing a table that's a little smaller in scale, or cabinet that's a little smaller in scale, we've got this little guy. He's $350, which is a great value, very nicely made. I love the chevron textured detail on this door. Again, we're adding that architectural element of texture to the face to add interest. And that paper that's on the shelf will be removed when it's sold. Actually, we can remove it now. There's no need for it to be there, but they did that to protect it in shipping. Take that off. The interior, you could see when Trish opened the door, the interior is beautifully finished and stained. The door is nice and heavy, has nice structure to it. Very nice hinges, nice closure, magnet enclosure, and it has that nice little understated brushed brass pull to open it as well. There's that shelf, so there's two spaces for storing things away. We've sold one of these to a client of mine, and she uses it for stowing away puzzles and games and things like that. So a very useful little piece. Again, adding that textured element on the face. So it's not just a plain brown stained wood cabinet. The chevron across the face adds that element of interest with its little brushed brass legs, just an adorable little cabinet. It does sit a little lower. James, what are our dimensions on this little guy?
It's 20 feet wide, 16 deep, and 27 high.
There you go. So a nice little cabinet. Even if you had like a deeper sofa or a deeper chair, this little guy would be great next to it as well. The height would be great, just resting right around an arm height of a chair or sofa.
Yeah, beside my chair at home, my recliner, I've got a table that's small like this.
Yes.
And that's all you need. I mean, the recliner's deep. You don't need a table that goes all the way back. You can't reach the back half of it anyways.
Right.
I think sometimes people are too focused on trying to find a table the same size as the chair.
And you don't necessarily need to do that.
No.
So a great little guy who has great storage. So say you want a little table that has some textured interest, that's a different shape. We've got this guy. He's an octagon with kind of almost a snake skin or alligator texture to it. No, it's not real. It's just the texture of it. But man, does it capture the light in a cool way. It's a piece that could go modern or could go very traditional as well. So it's a piece that just because of its shape, its color, it really could go anywhere. It could go next to a table. It could, or next to a table. It could go next to a chair. It could go next to a sofa. It could stand alone.
But if you go next to a table.
It could, as long as the other table was a little shorter or a little taller than this one, because something that I talked about with a group of ladies the other day, if you're pairing things together, you don't want them the exact same height if they're side by side. That's a no-no. Don't want to do that. This guy is $79, $79 full of sassy style, I believe. So, yes, I think so too. So I mentioned about meeting with some ladies. Let's get on to our life moments topic. James is dancing his way over here.
Then it came quickly because music was ending. So on Thursday of last week, I was invited to speak at the Women of Seven Lakes. I was invited to not come.
Meeting. Well, you're a dude.
Yes.
And so you're not a woman of Seven Lakes.
Correct.
But it was a great group of ladies, nice turnout, really sweet people, some faces that I know because I've worked in their homes or they come in shopping all the time. Got to meet some new people as well. So it was a lot of fun. Trish came along and did a little bit of filming, and I'm going to share with you in the next clip little snippets of what we talked about. Now, full disclosure, the audio on this isn't fantastic because I was mic'd, but it was a large room, so it might sound a little echoey or muffled. I bumped up the volume on it so to help out so you could hear. If you're having troubles hearing, you might want to bump up your volume. So yeah, so here's just a little teaser of what we talked about.
Roll it.
So you're not just looking at what you're composing on the one shelf, but overall, each shelf coming down. If you've got something heavy here, you want something heavy on the other side, but not necessarily directly across from it. Because visually, it's more interesting if you stagger that look. You don't have to stick to threes. You can do twos. If you do twos, you want them to vary in heights. Say you've got a taller piece and then a shorter piece. You can pair those together. You don't necessarily have to do threes. From one thing to the next. It doesn't have to be color. It can be an object. Say butterflies are your favorite. You can have a butterfly pillow, you can have butterfly art, you can have butterfly sculptures, you can have little butterfly napkins, you can have butterfly plates. You know, having that theme repeat throughout. Texture is another great thing to repeat. I love texture, and that's we just filmed for Tuesday's show, and I'm talking about texture because it's one of my favorite things. Got some texture piece on the wall for art, travel it down into maybe a cabinet piece or a upholstered piece that has a textured fabric to it, or a nice textured pillow, and then maybe a textured rug so your eye travels throughout the room. We had a mention of how do you know if there's too much? I see this a lot in the kitchen and bath end of things. When people are picking if they're remodeling their kitchen, we've got this countertop that has a lot of movement and flow going on.
And oh, I saw this awesome, fabulous backsplash, and it's just so bold and bright. It looks awesome. And then I got all these little accessories that I'm gonna put on the countertops. And then I've got this, and that's too much. Your eye doesn't know where to go. Pick one. Do you want the countertop to be the statement piece? Do you want the backsplash to be the statement piece? Same with the living room. Do I want my furniture to have big bold patterns and fabrics? Or do I want the artwork to have that? Because your eye needs somewhere to go. If all of it is big and bold and standing out, your eye doesn't know where to go. It's just too much. They were great to talk to. They had so many questions, which was fantastic. So what we talked about were the 4 basic principles of design, and we talked about areas that could be challenging, and the floor was open for the ladies to ask questions, and they were very specific about questions within their own home that they're struggling with. We talked about picking the right rug size. We talked about hanging artwork or mirrors that are appropriate size and dimension apart from each other on a wall. We talked about a whole bunch of different things, and again, they had great questions. They were great ladies. We had a great time. So we're very thankful that we were invited to come out and speak, and I love getting out and teaching people things. So if you happen to, we spoke while we were there, and I say to all of you, if you're local and you're happen to have some struggles and you're not quite sure what to do, Trish and I are happy to help you. Just bring your pictures over to the boutique for us. Just snap some pictures around the room that you're struggling with, and we can give you some advice. Or if you're stuck on what backsplash to pick that will work well with your new countertop or your existing countertop, Megan over at the Tile Showroom would be happy to help you with that. So we've got a great team here to help people out in helping make their homes beautiful and how to have harmony with everything that's within the room. All right, let's get on to our next textured piece, this nice little sweet swivel chair.
The most common place we think about texture is in fabrics, and this chair has great textured fabric to it without being nubby and uncomfortable. It has a bit of a nub to it. It has a nice cream with an undertone of a really dark, warm, charcoaly gray. Super comfy to sit in and sit back in. If you would like, you can add a lumbar pillow to the back, but it does have that barreled back to it. Nice welt detail along the arm and around the back side, as well as where the cushion meets here. It has a great dark colored base that hides the swivel mechanism. So very nicely done, very comfortable. This chair would be fantastic in a bedroom or a little sitting room, adding that texture element. When you're adding texture, do keep in mind that you want that to repeat. Don't think of texture as a one and done, but you want some texture to repeat throughout the room. It may not be in exactly the same way or exactly the same fabrics, but this is one element to add. This chair is a great way to add depth with the texture and also adds that element of tactile interest as well. This cozy little swivel chair is $950. It's the perfect little size chair. The height of the back, it's 31 inches tall. It is 27 inches wide, and depth from back to front is 31 inches.
Hi Trish, hi bestie. I would have to agree, at least here, it's a great night for a walk, and I do not blame you. James and I ate dinner outside tonight because it was just too nice to be inside anymore.
So Carolyn, is that 2-1? That's nice to know.
Yes, thank you.
If they win tonight, they come home to Raleigh for the fifth game, and the game they could win, they could take the series if they win tonight. It'd be nice to see them win at home.
The games over the weekend were exciting to watch.
Yeah.
Sunday was kind of sad, but the boys will rally it together. All right, so this salt and pepper fabric chair, I love the little nubby texture to it because I'm a tactile person. Whenever I go to a tile show or a tile showroom, I feel the tile. Whenever I go into a fabric store, I feel the fabrics. Furniture store, rub and feel the fabric. Anywhere I go, really, I touch things because I love the way things feel. And if you've got something that's soft and cozy, or like this where it's soft but a little nubby, I don't know, you just want to rub on it, kind of like your cat or your dog. But I love the fabric of this chair. I love the element of texture that it adds. I think it adds interest in a very subtle way. Beautiful barrel back that makes the sit very comfortable. I am short. Tonight I'm wearing my big people shoes so that I'm taller, but I'm short and I have a short torso. So when I sit in something deep, if a chair's too deep, a sofa's too deep, I have to sit on the edge. Otherwise, I feel like a little child and my feet are either dangling or sticking straight out. This chair fits me very comfortably. You can see, you saw in the video, I was kicked back, relaxed, feet planted on the floor. Yes, I was wearing a bit of a heel, but still, foot planted on the floor. James can sit in this chair, and because of the way the back is barreled and the arms are out, the width of that seat is nice and comfortable for him as well. And sometimes what fits me, because I have a petite frame, a very narrow frame, James has very broad shoulders. So what fits comfortably to me doesn't always fit comfortably to him. This particular chair sits us both very well, and it's because of the design of the back and the width of the seat. I love on this chair how the swivel mechanism is hidden behind that black pedestal. Sometimes I see swivel chairs and I really like the chair, but I can see the swivel. I don't know why that bothers me. It doesn't bother most people, but it does me. I love how it's hidden on this one. I just think it has a little more style to it, a little more polished and finished looking with that. And I think it's a great chair, $950 for this piece. So we've talked about something for the walls, something for furniture, to place things on, store things in, and to sit on.
The vase.
Now we're going to move on to a vase.
Oh, sorry. I was reading ahead. I'm sorry. Thank you, my nose.
Thank you, James.
You're welcome.
So we've got these great textured.
Thank you, and there's a broken too.
And these add another element of texture in a different way. So you can see this clay pot has nice ridges through it. This one is the small for $90. I have one you can see in the picture that's slightly larger for $145. My stems kind of dropped down in there. I look kind of silly hanging down so low. This particular piece, there is a little warning tag. It's not intended to hold water. So this is definitely something that you want to hold artificials in, not live plants. I'll show you up close. It almost has a concrete look to it, but it's not. And it has that foam base as well to protect your surface in case you're placing this, say, on a sofa table or another piece of furniture, it won't damage that. Or say you have a stone hearth that you'd like to place the two pots on together. That would work well. And again, that foam piece on the bottom protects your surface so there's no scratching going on. In my discussion with the ladies, we talked about pairing things because they're like, we hear all about this rule of 3 when you put pieces together. Yes, odd numbers look really nice together as long as those odd numbers have a little variation in them as well, but you can pair items of 2 together as well. But if they're side by side, you want to take a look at them and see, is there some kind of height difference in the 2 pieces side by side? If they're too similar in size, it's going to look a little off. So make sure that you've got a nice variance in height between one and the other, and you can pull off 2 side by side. Last week, we talked about reflections and how you can pair things, kind of a mirror image of one side to another. Those items can be exactly the same height, but they're spread further apart. We're talking about pairing things close together. You want to make sure that there's a variance in height there. So a little side tip on textures as well as sizes. You could pair this with the identical twin minus a couple of inches. They're textured the same, they look the same. Another cool look would be to mix your textures. So this one has that ridged look. This would look really sharp with something smooth and glossy as well. Maybe a little darker or lighter in color, so you've got contrast with texture and with color. That would be sharp to pair together also. This guy, again, is the small, and he's $90. The large is $145. Now, as James said, let's move on to the rug.
When you're styling your space and using texture, think about using it as your accent. Accent doesn't necessarily always have to be with color. It can be with textures as well. And throughout the show, we've talked about things from the wall, down to a case good, down to a furniture piece with fabric, and now down to the floor with your rug. So utilizing texture as the accent, repeating that element throughout a room helps your eye draw from one item to the next. This rug is a great example of texture and would be beautiful in a smaller space. It has great creams, almost an oatmeal-y color. It's warm without going too yellow. It has bands of a tighter pile in it of grays and hints of a blue-gray. So it has those warm elements as well as cool. It adds great pattern as well, not just with the texture of the pile, but adding the element of texture through the patterns of these geometric shapes going on in the higher pile and then the stripe running through the lower pile. This rug is 100% polypropylene. It's made in Turkey, and the price is $375. Dimensions are 63 by 90. So it's a slightly off from a 5x7. When you're picking a rug, think about the size. You want to make sure that you don't select the rug that is too small for the space or too large. Don't go too small. You want to make sure that whatever you're placing the rug with, you're grounding those pieces, meaning the piece is actually touching the rug. So if you're pairing this with a couple of swivel chairs, maybe you want to make sure that those chairs are placed on the rug. It doesn't necessarily have to be all of the legs, but at least the front legs. Your cocktail table, if you have a cocktail table you're pairing with this, you want to make sure the cocktail table is completely and fully on the rug. If you're using this maybe at the foot of a twin bed, you want to make sure that at least the bottom part of the bed is covering over some of the rug. Again, you want to ground it without the rug just floating in the space. When it floats in the space, you've chosen a rug that's too small. So not just thinking about texture, but talking about proportion a little bit too.
Isn't this a great rug? I think it's just beautiful. You can't beat the price. And
That's the colors. I love the colors.
Yeah, it's the texture on this one that I love. It's the pattern I love and the color. It's beautiful with warm colors and with cool colors. It contains both. It pairs well with both. It's only $375, which I think is a great value. And once this one is gone, it is gone because this rug has been discontinued. You cannot buy this rug in another size. You can't buy this rug in this size anymore. They are gone. So if you're really liking this one and been sitting on the fence, I'd probably jump because yes,
It's 63 wide and 90 long.
63 by 90.
Yep.
So not an overly large rug, but perfect in a smaller space.
Dresser.
Yeah.
Oh, lots of, yeah.
In a little
in front of the
room.
Yep.
Mhm.
Between two chairs.
Yes, it would be perfect. The pile difference, there's some pile difference, but not so much that you would be tripping on it a lot. You know, that's a concern sometimes when you have that height difference in something on the floor. Is it going to make you trip? So I mean, sometimes I'll be walking through the showroom and there's a piece of tile that's not quite the same height. Like the board is different, a different height than the tile that's next to it. Because we've got those wood boards and the tile downstairs, and that very small difference, I'll catch my toe on that every single time. But this rug, it's so minimal, and the way it's kind of carved up.
Trish just said, great information, Jen.
Trish?
Pretty sure I was the one that called out the size of that rug there, Trish.
Maybe the size of the rug, but we're talking about other things too. Mm-hmm. So I just think this is a spectacular rug. Super easy to maintain. Polypropylene, hello, you can take it outside, hose it down, and dry it in the sunshine if you wanted to. It's something that if you've got grandchildren, children, pets, very easy to maintain. It's not going to shed like a wool. Wools are beautiful and durable, but this is this is your go-to fiber content if you need it to be able to withstand a lot of things. All right, let's move on to our last item, which is adding texture into baskets. We've got a variety of baskets in a variety of colors and a variety of sizes. So this particular one, where it's the natural on top and blue on the bottom, it's woven together. So we've got twists that are woven together with handles on the larger baskets, nice and deep. We have them available in this extra large size. We've got them available in this size, which is our large. That's how we call this the extra large. This one's the large. This one's the extra large. And we've got it available in this little bitty guy too. So great opportunities to store different things because of the height differences. That little guy is paired great with that. Or you can even pull off the big dude with, if you wanted to pair it in threes. Yeah. This one, the height is a little too close to this one. I wouldn't do that. If you want to do three, I'll do these three. And that's the extra large, the large, and then the small or the medium. I'm not quite sure what we called it. I will know as soon as I walk up to the screen.
Medium large, extra large, and extra large.
There you go. So extra large is $49.
So there's 3 different large sizes.
It's $39, large is $29, and medium is $19. So all priced very well. Great for storage, stylish storage. Say that 5 times fast. I got tongue-tied just saying it once. So stylish storage, great for toys, great for your pets' toys, great to tuck a few throws in, great for maybe in a bathroom with some rolled towels in it. So very, very versatile, all different kinds of uses for all the different sizes. All right. That concludes our show on texture. So kind of a recap, we talked about texture up on the wall, bringing your eye down to textured furniture pieces and bringing it down even further onto the floor. Sprinkling it around with vases. You can do it with sculpture. You can do it with baskets. You can use texture as an element of your design, possibly as an accent, sprinkling some textured pieces about the room so your eye travels from one textured piece to the next. So again, I love texture. I love the element that it adds. I hope this was helpful for you. A little side note, we've got Mother's Day coming up this weekend. Keep an eye on our posts. Trish had a great video that we posted up earlier today. She's been dropping things in different rolled pockets for Mother's Day as a little side gift. And while you're at the boutique picking up a gift for mom, don't forget to grab one of our handmade Michelle Barrett cards. They're beautifully done. And oops, these are happy birthday. Not great for Mother's Day, but pretty.
You sell so many of these.
Yeah. She texted me today and said she was going to drop off even more. This is a new design for birthday, but we've got ones that are appropriate for Mother's Day as well. Some nice blank ones.
Sure.
7, either 7 even or 7.99. I know.
They're the same price, and you just produce
And
things.
these are handmade.
I mean, seriously, this is a great buy.
So, and a great way to, so something locally made to add to your gift or to just use the card as the gift. So, all right, everyone, you have a great night. Thank you so much for joining us. Don't forget to subscribe, like the channel. We appreciate you, and we'll see you next week.